Hello and welcome, Rachel from A Sense of Calm. I just wanted to talk a little bit about mantra and why mantra works so well. So for a lot of us, when we're asked to meditate, to just sit quietly and empty our mind or just observe our thoughts is difficult because we have busy minds and we're used to being in there amongst it kind of thing. So it's difficult. Whereas when you're working with a mantra, you actually give your mind something to do. You give it a tool to work with, which stops you from thinking. So it kind of protects you from your thoughts, which is the meaning of the word mantra. It's two Sanskrit syllables. Man is thinking and tries to protect or to interrupt. So mantra is a tool to protect us, in a way, from our own mind stuff. So when we're working with a mantra, we are putting something in place of the incessant thoughts. And the more often we interrupt those incessant thoughts by working with mantra, the more that mind stuff and those thoughts lose their grip on us. So instead of, if you like, the tail, the head, wagging the dog, like so often we just find ourselves in our head. We're not present, we're just in our head because it's like a habitual thing to do. When we work with mantra regularly, ideally a little bit every day, this begins to lose its grip over us. So we're able to be more centered, more in our center, and less in our heads and more present. Which obviously means that the ripples that go out from us into our world, into the people we love and the people we meet are very different because we're present, we're here in the moment rather than being in our head and not here at all. So just a few little pointers around working with the mantra. So when you sit down to do your mantra, ideally sit in a good posture, so that your spine is nice and erect and supported by the core muscles. Try and bracket off your mantra session. So whatever you've got going on in the day that might be on your mind, try and just leave it behind. Just for give yourself the gift, if you like, of being present for your mantra session. Particularly when you start it, mantra will take care of it once you get going, but just try and park your stuff, if you like, and be present in the room. Go with the posture, because the more you focus on something physical, the more you will be here now rather than in your head. It's another kind of hook to bring you here. So be aware of your posture. And then when you're actually making the sounds, try, if you can, to create a little bit of nasalization here. That sound. Not easy for Western English people because we don't have this sound in our language. But if you can, just work at, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you start working with it, it becomes quite attractive, something you want to repeat. And when you vibrate this here, when you create the nasalization, you're vibrating the bones here, which sets up a vibration in the skull, which sets up a subtle vibration throughout the whole skeleton. So when you're working with the mantra, you're vibrating your body from the inside out. It's the only way you can do it completely from the inside, from the bones outwards, is with your own sound. So it's powerful because it gently vibrates everything, gets things moving and changing within your body. Okay, so mantra is powerful, and if you can create something of that vibration, it's still more powerful. People often ask about the meanings of the mantra. Try not to get hung up on the meaning, because the whole thing about Sanskrit is that it was originally heard. It was sounds that were heard by the rishi and the wise men, wise people many years ago, many thousands of years ago. They heard the sounds and they noticed the effect they had on their mind and their body and their being. And those sounds eventually became written down and turned into what we call Sanskrit, the language Sanskrit, which is actually the language of the gods. And it's not really about meanings of words, it's more about the frequencies and the vibrations created by the sounds. So it's more about creating the sounds and being present with the sounds than getting hung up on the meaning. In fact, the fact that we don't really understand the language we're speaking or chanting is helpful, because if it were in English and we were using English words, we'd recognise them and they'd take us off on a little journey. You'd think about the meaning of the word. This won't happen in Sanskrit, because not only are you working with the frequencies of the sounds, but you're also working with frequencies of sounds that have been used for thousands of years and chanted for thousands of years. So every syllable is kind of imbued with a healing essence, if you like, healing frequencies. To be honest, you may be thinking, how can all this be true? It's easy to prove it's true by just working with a mantra. So I'm starting now to load up mantras, short one-line mantras, some for like the sun, the moon, the planets, because they all have an effect on different parts of the body. And so I'm going to do an introductory video with the mantra, and then I'm going to do one that contains 108 repetitions, which is the most efficacious number of repetitions. So you can actually chant along with me if you would like to. And I'm actually going to be working with one of the mantra every day for 40 days. That's called a Sadhana, where you take one mantra and you work with it, 108 repetitions every day for 40 days with a specific focus, which obviously is something for you to think about. Can be an extremely powerful and even transformative process. So the easiest way to count the 108 is to get some mala beads that have 108 beads, or this one has 106 and you count this first one twice, at the beginning and at the end. But some have 108 beads, but that's the easiest way, just counting the beads, passing the beads between your fingers, so you don't have to count. So there we are. Just wanted to give a little bit of time to actually why mantra works so well and why it can be so helpful, especially Sanskrit mantra. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'd really appreciate it if you would like and share and drop me a comment, give me some feedback. I'd really appreciate that, even if it's only telling me where you are in the world. I'd love that. The Tibetan bowls, they definitely have a value, and they're definitely valuable and they're definitely healing. However, there is nothing like getting in touch with your own voice and using it to chant mantra or to intone mantra. It's extremely powerful and transformative. So that's why I'm here going on about it. So there we are. Have a good day and have a look at the other mantra videos. Bye bye, take care.